name's Mariana. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. So today is a Flex Friday for me, and it's an absolutely cracking day today. So Bella and I did our morning walk down at Glenelg. We did leave a little bit later because I had wanted to do some things around the house, including a bit of a spring refresh of my bedroom and the bedding. And then we went out for our walk, came home, had some breakfast, and I decided a couple of weeks ago that I'd been feeling so out of sorts and just feeling so out of alignment that I decided today, being a Flex Friday, I was going to have a bit of a planning day, or just even a few hours. And to do that, I've decided to leave the house and go elsewhere to do it, because if I do it at home, I just get distracted by other things. I end up putting the TV on and nothing gets done. So I'm now headed off to Plant 4 at Bowden, and I can just grab a coffee there, and hopefully it's not too busy. I don't think it will be. And just sit there for a few hours and just work out a bit of a plan for myself. Given that it is less than 3 months until Christmas, I really don't want to go into the Christmas season and into New Year feeling the way I'm currently feeling. So I've got a couple of activities that I want to get through. So I thought I may as well share them with you in case you're feeling a bit like me, a bit out of alignment and a little bit stuck, or you're feeling in a rut. So we can go through a few things together. I can't believe how nice the weather is today. Unfortunately, there seems that there's going to be a change on its way for tomorrow, and we're going to go back to cool, rainy weather. But for now, I'm just glad that the day is nice, because when the weather is nice, it just makes me want to really lock in and get this stuff done. It just makes me feel rejuvenated and energized. And that, coupled with the morning walk, and it's just left me in a really good place to sit down and organize my life a little bit, because at the moment it feels a little bit like chaos. So I'm very glad for that today. Anyway, so I'm off to Plant 4 at Bowden, and I guess I will see you when I get there.
Something kicks off at Marion Complex, for example. Of course, there was some concern about what it does to your rights as a civilian to not constantly be.
Okay, so I came to Plant 4 at Bowden, where it's like a lot of different little eateries and an open space in the middle. But it was quite noisy in there, and there was quite a few people around. So I've decided to come outside. I found a really quiet spot. It's very shady. There's a little water feature, which you can probably hear in the background. And I thought this would be a better spot. That way my talking to a camera isn't disturbing anybody inside, and I wouldn't feel self-conscious, because if I feel self-conscious, then nothing will get done and I won't be able to speak as comfortably as I would now. So I basically brought my little mobile office with me. I've got my laptop and I've got notebooks and stuff like that. It is a little bit breezier out here than I would have liked. Hopefully it doesn't annoy me too much, so you'll have to excuse the crazy hair. But anyway, back to it. I've got my mobile office. I've got, all my little bits and pieces. Now, to start my planning day, what I like to do is first start with a life audit. So I printed mine off Canva because I wanted to make a change to a standard life audit, or the Wheel of Life circle. So you can just download these on the internet, which is where I used to get mine. But then, because I've got Canva now and you can get a free subscription, I decided to go on there. I found one and I was able to customize it. And after watching a video by Ali Abdal, I decided to add an extra triangle for joy. And now basically what I will do is, if this wind stops bloody blowing, is basically go around the circle and rate from 1 to 10 how I feel in each quadrant. So the different quadrants are health and fitness, physical environment, relationships, fun and entertainment, spirituality, career, finance and wealth, personal growth, and then the extra one that I've added, which is joy. So basically that's what I'm going to do for the next few minutes. You don't have to spend heaps of time on it if you don't want to, but I thought I would give a little bit of a backstory about why I decided to do this planning day. since being back from my overseas holiday, I've been feeling really stuck and a bit in a rut. I keep catching everything that's going around. I've been actually, to be honest, quite down about things. I feel as if going on that holiday, as a positive as experience as it was, I know that I had seen movies of these places and read books about these places. Actually seeing them really, really opened up my eyes. And since being back and feeling so off my axis, all I could think is the whole world is spinning around me and I am just living in my own little bubble, which I'm happy with that, but something just feels a little bit off. And I'm sick of talking about it. I'm sick of whinging. I just want to do something about it. So that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with my wheel of life and go around and see how I feel on a scale of 1 to 10 about things. So 1 meaning you don't feel so great and 10 meaning everything is perfect. So I'm going to get going on that. Okay, so because I've been thinking about this for quite a while now, I was able to get through that really quickly. So I'll let you know what my scores were. For health and fitness, 3, physical environment 4, relationships 4, fun and entertainment 2, spirituality 3, career 3, finance and wealth 3, personal growth is a 5 because I feel that I'm always working at something, but there is a lot of room for improvement. Health and fitness, like I mentioned, I have been getting sick and catching everything that's going around since I've been back from holidays. But even before that, I think a week into my holiday, I started to get unwell. So there must be something amiss. So I've recently had a bunch of blood tests done. I'm waiting for the results to come back. And health and fitness will also include mental health. So that's why I rated it a little bit low because of the way that I'm feeling at the moment. My physical environment is a 4, and that's only because I do love my home, of course I do, but there's just some areas of improvement, things that I'm wanting to work on before the end of the year, given that there are only 3 months left until the end of the year. I just want to get this stuff done and out of the way before the new year gets here. So that's what I'm looking at. Relationships is a 4. Being an introvert, I don't have a big circle of friends and I'm quite comfortable with that. But to be honest with myself, it is a 4. But do I really want to work on it? Not really. Care factor for social interaction for me is really low. And besides, you know what? I have you guys. So that makes me happy. I feel that that's enough for me. I like my own company, so there's no issue there. Fun and entertainment is a 2 because since being back, I guess being sick as well, I haven't really ventured out much. I actually never really venture too far from home as a rule, but I would like to change that in the new year and in the next 3 months as well. Just get out and see the state that I live in and the city that I live in and just try some new things, because that's the other thing about traveling overseas. Like, I was exposed to so much and realized how little I know about my own country and the state that I live in and the city that I live in. So that's something that I really want to focus on before the end of the year. So hopefully they're things that you can look forward to. Spirituality, I also rated as a 3. I'm not a religious person, really. I have my faith, of course. I think it needs to be worked on a little bit because it's one of those things that you need to work out, I think. But anyway, that's another story. Career. All right. So for me, career, I rated as a 3. I have a job that is okay. It pays the bills. It affords me, a relatively good work-life balance. Like, we work a 9-day fortnight. There are a lot of benefits where I work. So that's one of the reasons that I stay, and the work isn't bad. My boss is a really nice lady, so that's another reason. Do I find it fulfilling? No, not at all. Is it what I want to be doing for the rest of my life? Certainly not. What I do really enjoy is making videos and editing videos. That makes me really happy, although I do procrastinate on it quite a bit. I'm really disappointed in myself that all my travel videos aren't up yet. I don't have as much time as I would like to work on my videos, but that's something that I need to sort out. And hopefully today we'll be able to bring some of those things to the forefront of my mind so I can put some actions into place and get started on that. The other thing is my channel isn't doing as well as I would like. I don't know where I'm falling over. Am I too boring? Are my descriptions not good enough? Are my titles not good enough? Are my thumbnails not good enough? So they're all things that I really need to work on. So I need to really carve out some time in my schedule to include that. Otherwise, things are not going to get any better. And I'm also considering a relatively big life change at the moment. I don't want to talk about it today because it's still in extreme infancy, but it's something that I really need to think about and consider, and that will basically change everything, finance and wealth. So since I've been back, I have hardly even looked at my finances. I'm still putting the same amount as I was before into a separate high interest savings account. For my next holiday, I'd like to go back to Paris next year if I've got the annual leave to do so, and if I've saved up enough money to do so. I'd also like to visit Rome. Even if I can only go for 2 weeks, I'd like to spend 5 days or 6 days in Paris and then 5 or 6 days in Rome. My investments, I'm still putting money into my investment account, but it's sort of fallen away a little bit. The one positive thing is that I have been doing is that despite the interest rates having come down, I think twice in the last couple of months, I am still paying the same amount as I was before. So I think I'm paying about $120 a week more on my home loan repayments than is actually required. But one of the things that I will put on my to-do list is to call the bank and find out exactly what that delta is, and also to discuss with them again, based on the lower interest rates, how long it will take me to pay off my home, because I want to be mortgage free by 50. So, and that's the other reason I really need to visit my finances. I have been spending a lot, I don't know on what, because I haven't been using my spending tracker. So that's another thing that I need to look at and get that going again. And which one do I use? I don't know the name of it. I just downloaded it from the App Store, and the good thing is I can go through and put on my monthly reoccurring items in there, and so it'll automatically generate what the monthly expenses are. I put in the amount that I get paid after tax, and it just does all the expenses and income and how much I've got left and the balance and so on and so forth. So it's actually a really, really good app. I will put it up on the screen if you're wanting to have a look at that. Not sponsored, of course. So they're the things that I need to visit. Again, back to health and fitness. So I'm still doing my Pilates a couple of times a week. I'm going to yoga once a fortnight. I walk every day, and then Bella and I do our 6K once a week. I would like to reintroduce more strength training. So I did buy my new TV and set that up in my spare room. I paid the annual subscription for the Les Mills app, which I've been using for years. So I am going to also, once all this is done, I can schedule in time to do that as well. And it doesn't have to be a lot for me, even 2 or 3 times a week, even if it's only for 20 minutes, as long as I'm doing something in the strength training category. Because as I'm getting older, I'm losing muscle. It's harder to regain muscle. It's just getting older. I'm trying to do it gracefully, but honestly, it's not fun. So anyway, now that that's done, I like to also do a bit of a brain dump. I find that, like most people, I just hold on to things in my head. When there's so much going on in your mind, it's really hard to narrow things down and figure out what's important, what's not important. So that's what I'm going to do now. Just grab a piece of paper, and anything that's in my mind, I'm just going to jot it down. It's not meant to be a to-do list, but mine quite often will end up a to-do list, because, to be honest, I love a good to-do list, because ticking things off a list just releases that dopamine for me. I just love it. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do next, but it can also include any ideas, random thoughts, anything that's on your mind. Just get it out onto paper, and then you can sort of navigate around that a little bit and conquer all that, crap that just floats around in your head. So that's what I'm going to do next. So I'll be back with you in a few minutes. Okay, so I'm back home now. I ended up having to go inside at plant 4 because it did get quite windy, and it was quite quiet upstairs, which was good, but it was too noisy to really talk to the camera, which is fine. But I did get through a few things. So based on the outcomes of my Wheel of Life and my life audit, I picked out a couple of sections of the quadrant that I really wanted to work on. So I didn't want to overwhelm myself by going, I'm just going to work on everything. So for me, it was finances, personal growth, health and fitness, fun and entertainment, which sort of gets into that joy section, spirituality and career, as in working on my YouTube channel. And also really considering if I want to continue with the YouTube channel. I mean, I love filming and I love editing, but there's not a lot of growth there. So I'm just wondering, is it worth going on with? That's something that you might be able to help me out. Let me know in the comments if you think I should continue. And if I do continue, what is it that you would like to see from me? I love making vlogs. I think they're so much fun, and it's also a way of documenting my life. So that's what I really wanted to work on. And while I was sitting upstairs, I started working on my spend tracker and also the expenses spreadsheet. And I also decided that after I'd done my brain dump, you know, all these things floating around in my head, I decided that I'm going to commit myself to a 75-day soft challenge. So you've probably heard of the 75 hard challenge, and that's fine. I don't think that I could do it. And if I fall off the wagon and then have to start all over again, I don't do well at it. I think I'm just going to get discouraged, and then knowing me, I'll beat myself up over it. So I've decided to commit to the 75-day soft challenge. So for me, that includes 10 pages of reading every day, include 1 devotional into my morning routine, follow a healthy food plan, and for me, I follow a particular program, but you can do whatever you like if you're wanting to do a 75-day soft challenge as well. So you can be vegan, paleo, keto, fasting, whatever it is that you choose. 45 minutes of movement, and for me, that will include Pilates, strength training, walking, yoga. And for walking, it's a minimum of 10,000 steps per day. Now, generally, I do about 13,000 steps per day because I walk everywhere. I walk Bella, but on the days I work from home, I find it really hard to get to that 10,000 steps. So I will have to extend my morning walk with Bella. So I'll have to get up 15 minutes earlier maybe so I can commit to that. Also, drink 2 to 3 litres of water per day. I generally drink about 1.5 to 2. Ideally, it should be closer to the 3. So 2 to 3 litres of water per day. Write in my joy journal as part of my evening routine. Now, for me, the 10 pages of reading will be a fiction book before I go to sleep, and this is the one that I've decided on. So A River Runs Through It. I have started it, but I have been watching TV until bedtime, which is not conducive for a relaxing evening or a good night's sleep. So that's what I'm going to continue with, or I'm going to start. And my action steps will be that I'm going to start these little things on Monday. Some of them I already do, but I need to schedule them in and be more committed to doing them. Also, with the spiritual quadrant of the Wheel of Life, I've decided that I'm going to include the 1 devotional into my morning routine, which will be this one, which is 365 days of devotions. So this is called Jesus Calling by Sarah Young, and that's what I'm going to commit to. It's actually even dated, but it starts from the new year. So what I might do is I might start it from Monday on the date that it is, and then going into the new year, I can continue it from the beginning. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, as part of the brain dump, it's not meant to be a to-do list, but for me, it always comes out to be quite a few things that are to do. Last year, I committed to a 25 before 2025. So this year, I'm going to try and do 26 before 2026. Now, some of these things are annual activities that I do, like spray for spiders, pressure clean my house, but I've got quite a few things that I want to get done before the new year, so I go into the new year with a clear head and just feeling like I've accomplished something this year. So I didn't get to everything last year, but I did give it a really red hot crack. So I've written out a list of things that I want to get done, like clean my windows inside and out for the whole house, and those sorts of things. So I'm going to put together my to-do list and hopefully I can get that done before the end of the year. So let me know in the comments, is there anything that you like to get to do towards this last part of the year? It feels like it's just a bit of a race towards the end, isn't it? Because sometimes, especially for me in winter, I tend to hibernate quite a bit and not feel like doing a lot. So I think this really will just set me up to, get myself out of that negative headspace I've been in since I've been back from Europe. Yeah, I already feel so much better and so much lighter. So I'm really glad that I did that today. There is something else though. So when I got back from Europe, I also purchased this online, and I haven't even unwrapped it yet. It's still in the box. So, and this is Obsessed with Growth, the Self-Obsessed Journal by Tam Kaur. She is half my age, but she is a YouTuber that has a really, really good self-development channel and self-growth channel. I absolutely love watching her. I find her so inspiring. She just knows where she's going and what she wants from life and has worked so hard, and I find her really, really inspiring, and she is extremely clever. So if you don't know who she is, get onto YouTube, Tam Kaur. I'll leave her channel linked down below, and I haven't even unwrapped this yet, so let's do that together. If I can get the wrapping off. This is really beautiful. It's got this beautiful linen cover with the red embossed. Oh, it's just gorgeous. Look at that. And there's even a thank you card in there. Hey, self-obsessed girly. You are officially one step closer to becoming the best version of yourself. I'm so excited for all the amazing progress you're about to make with this journal. But before you commence into the next phase of your life, I want you to take a second to appreciate how far you've come already by taking such priority in your self-love and growth journey. I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to see how far you go. Tag me in your pics and message me about your new journaling experience on Instagram to keep me updated. And in the meantime, good luck. Love, Tam. So she's got a little bit about herself, why this journal, how to use for best results, vision board, identity shifting, shadow work prompts, future self prompts, and current goals, daily recaps. And it's undated, and she's got an affirmation on every page, which is nice. It's really well thought out. So there's a checklist for actions, gratitude, today's mood, progress checks, let it go, pages. And it feels beautiful as well. And it's the little red page marker, and the papers are really nice quality as well. Like, it really is a lovely journal. So I'm going to start using that. So I could do that in the evening. I could do it in the morning. And one of the things that I started last year, I think it was, is every Tuesday morning, because I work in the city on Tuesdays, I generally go in about an hour earlier, grab a coffee, sit somewhere, do a little bit of journaling, do a bit of a brain dump and plan out my week. I know most people do that on Sundays, but Tuesdays are the days that I do it. And again, I take myself out of the house because I get too distracted when I'm at home doing other things. So that's working for me really well, and I will continue to do that. The other thing that I will do is I will include in my schedule a weekly recap so I can see, and that's all in here as well, so I can see my progress so far. I've got quite a bit to do, and I will share with you if you like. Let me know my list of 26 before 2026. I'm happy to share that. I also wrote out the pros and cons list for the change that I'm currently considering. I will probably make my decision by tomorrow. It is a massive life change for me, but it's something that I'm seriously considering. And when I've made my final decision and once the ball is rolling, I will share that with you here as well. Now that I've started doing this, like I just want to keep going. So I think the hardest thing is just getting started. So now that I have started, it's just building on that momentum and just to keep moving. This has been a really, really good exercise. I'm glad that I dedicated the time to do it. And you know what? I think I am going to keep going, and that's what I'm going to do for the next few hours. So I'm going to put on some comfy clothes and sit on the couch and just keep going with this. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning and happy Saturday. So the weather isn't as nice today as it was yesterday, worse luck, but you know, what do you do? So last night I continued to work on my plan for the year, the remainder of this year and coming into next year or 2026. Now I also need to try and get specific about exactly what I want. It's all good and well to write down I want something, but I need to be really specific about it so I can break it down into small actionable goals that I can factor into my life. I still need to schedule out my calendar and see where I can fit in some extra steps. Now, for me, the biggest thing is, of course, working on this YouTube channel because I do want it to be successful. So I really, really need to focus in on that and make time to learn as much as I can. So in the section for career, like I said yesterday, like, you know, my job isn't at the forefront of my mind. To me, it's a tool basically to pay the bills. Really want to focus on my YouTube channel. I also need to decide if I want to keep going with it because there is a big time factor as well it takes a lot of effort. As far as adventure goes, I also need to sit down and work out what adventure and fun mean to me and what it is that exactly that I want to do. For me, it's about traveling a little bit more, even if it is locally, and getting to know my state and my city, maybe venturing out just outside of my state because I want to travel overseas again, so I need to factor in money too. So I need to be saving for that. So there is quite a lot that goes into planning. So people say that you can do it in a few hours. I don't think that I can. Also on my list of to-dos is to create my vision for 2026. So it's deciding on my word of the year and what that word means to me. And again, being specific about who I want to be in 2026. You'd think that at nearly 50, I would have figured that out by now, but just not there yet. And while I may not have all the specifics nutted out at the moment, at least I've started. You know what they say, an object in motion stays in motion and all that stuff. So I feel quite good about it. Anyway, enough of that for now, and I will go into more of what I'm doing in upcoming vlogs. But for now, I've just left yoga. I went to Pilates this morning. Bella's been walked, and now I'm on my way home because Damien is coming over and we're going out to lunch because it was his birthday on Wednesday. So we're going out to lunch today to a little Italian cafe down at the bay that he wants to try. For those of you that don't know, Damien is my best friend. He's the most important, or aside from my parents, he's one of the most important people in my life. And Damien and I were actually married for nearly 15 years. We separated about 3 years ago. We have remained amicable through the whole separation. Like I said, he's my best friend. I love him dearly. We just didn't work as a married couple, but we worked really well as friends. We were a pretty decent team, but unfortunately we couldn't make a marriage work. But I felt no need to throw away, and he didn't either. We just didn't want to throw each other away, so we've just remained friends. It works for us. I know people think that it's odd or weird, but what other people think of me is really not my concern. I also realised that I had actually filmed items that I'd bought in Europe. It wasn't a whole lot, but I've actually filmed what I bought and I never posted it because I wanted to do that after I had uploaded all my travel videos, which much to my dismay, I haven't done yet. I'm really annoyed at myself about that. I know I've harped on about it, but last night after I had enough of doing planning, I continued editing my Lake Como video. So hopefully that will be up by the end of the weekend. May work in that items that I bought into this video, just so you can see what I've got. Basically, it's not to pad out the video. Good morning and happy Sunday. So I decided when I got up this morning, because the sky was grey and it was drizzling, that I would still go to Pilates, but I wasn't going to go to the Wavell Showgrounds Farmers Market or to the Gillis Plains Market. I wanted to go especially so I could show you around Gillis Plains Market, because it's such a great market and it's so much fun. But given the weather, I decided against it. I still took Bella for a walk before Pilates. We both got drenched. There was this annoying drizzle happening, but I also wanted to save a little bit of time, 20 minutes to get there, 20 minutes to get back, and then the couple of hours that I would spend browsing around at the markets and lining up for fruit and veg. And I really didn't need that much anyway. But I've got a few things that came out of my brain dump on Friday that I wanted to get done, easy little things that I could do. Damien and I had our lunch out at the Bay yesterday. It was really nice. Food was really good. So that was at Massey. And then I dropped into Silk Laser Clinics to pick up my click and collect, because they had 20% off of products that I use and I was running really low on 2 of them. So I picked that up as well. And also, one of the things on my to-do list was to organise all the little cables and stuff that I've got laying around the house. So I went to Kmart and I purchased this for $12. It's not exactly what I want, but everything else was quite expensive. Or the one that I really liked was actually on Temu, and I don't order from Temu. I'm not about to start ordering from Temu. So I just picked up this one from Kmart. Currently, I've just got cords everywhere, and I've got a couple of these that have bits and pieces in them, and I just really want to get those organised. So I'm going to take them all out of here and put them into the little drawers, and then I'm going to put them into the cupboard that's in my study so things just look nice and tidy. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So this is the drawer where I keep all my cables and stuff, and it's a dog's breakfast in there. So not loving that. It's time to tidy it up and make it a little bit easier to use. And I love the clear drawers on the little storage box that I got, because I can see exactly what's in there. Okay, so that's done. And I know you're going to ask, why do I keep so many of the cables when so many of them just use the same thing? But I am notorious for losing them. So every time I get a new one with a new item, I just keep it. Also, they don't last forever. So once one has died, I can just go to these little drawers and grab one. I might label them with my little label maker, and then it's just going to live in my little cupboard. So that's one thing off my list. And now I can get rid of these little compartment things, which were, to be frank, just annoying me in the drawers. I also felt like making some chocolate biscuits today, so I'm going to make these ones. They do contain protein powder, 2 cups of almond meal, 1 large egg, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 1 teaspoon baking powder, and 2 tablespoons of melted coconut oil. Now, it says here to add 1 dash of water to combine, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a dash of decaf espresso for a mocha flavour, and I'm also going to add some pesticide-free dry roasted almonds, which I've just crushed up in a bag here. So that's what I feel like making today. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit more about my 75-day soft challenge that I made for myself. I know that there's a lot of things on the internet to follow, but I really wanted to just, you know, make up my own thing. Mine's not too far from that. Although I didn't include only drinking alcohol on special occasions. I don't really drink alcohol at the best of times, so I didn't think it was really worth putting it on there, but you can do whatever you like. The only time I ever really drink anything is generally I will have a little tipple with Mum on Christmas Day or New Year's Day, and that is about it. And that's like one drink, and that's all I really ever have. I've never been, not since my teenage years, you know, when we all do stupid stuff, I've never really been much of a drinker. Yeah, I just didn't think it was important to add. I'm also going to add into this a little bit of speculous spice as well, just to give it a bit more of a depth of flavor as opposed to just the chocolate protein powder. A dash of salt as well. Now the recipe didn't really provide a method on how to do it, but I'm assuming like most recipes like this, you just mix all the dry ingredients first, mix all the wet ingredients, and then add in. So that's what I've done. It also didn't say how long. It says, sorry, around 20 minutes, but it doesn't provide a temperature. My oven is pretty strong, so I've just put it onto 180, and I like them to be a little bit chewier in the middle, so I probably wouldn't leave them in for that long either. I'll just keep an eye on them. Now, if you want them crunchier, I would turn off the oven and let them cool down in the oven. Or if you want them a little bit chewier, take them out, let them cool for a minute or two on the tray, and then put them onto a wire rack. That's what I would do. You can add some sort of sugar substitute or sugar if you like, but I think most protein powders are pretty sweet anyway, and it's got vanilla in there and stuff. So I don't think you actually need it, but that's entirely up to you. So anyway, back to a little bit more of my planning. That was one of the other reasons that I didn't want to go to the market today and waste time, because I just want to edit some footage and put it up instead of taking out a couple of hours out of my day just to wander around. I just thought it was better just to lock in a few hours and get some stuff done, and I think I'll feel better for it. So I'm going to use my hands for this. My hands are clean. I've just added almonds because it's got almond flour, but you could use whatever you like. You could use whatever nut flour you like as well. Macadamia or hazelnut would be nice. I know you can get hazelnut in big bags at Costco. I just like a bit of crunch to my biscuits as well, as in chewy but still crunchy. Hopefully with the nuts in there they'll hold together. I don't think they'll spread too much either. Roughly around the same size. I don't know, tell me how you guys prepare for the end of the year and the oncoming holiday season, and preparing, you know, trying to decide what it is you want for 2026. How do you go about it? Do you have a plan, or do you make New Year's resolutions? I'd love to know. I love to know what other people do. That's what this weekend has been all about. Trying to figure out, trying to get organized, and just addressing all these little things. So that's what I'll be doing the rest of the afternoon as well. The mixture it's not dry at all, which is good. So hopefully when they cook, they will taste delicious. They'd be nice to have with a cup of coffee or a cup of decaf in the afternoon, a cup of tea. You could actually, I reckon, instead of adding decaf in, you could brew up a strong cup of Earl Grey or something and mix that in as part of your wet ingredients. And also, I think what I'll add to my 75-day soft challenge is some form of learning. So that can be something professional development, or for me, learning a new YouTube skill. And my mum actually gifted me a Skillshare annual subscription, so I can utilize that a little bit more. There is a video on there about how to use Google Calendar properly and how to customize Google Calendar. So I think that I might add that to my list of things that I want to learn. I can also use Skillshare at work, provided I'm learning something in that professional development space. So they're pretty good about things like that. There's also a bunch of online courses. So this week I'm doing a critical thinking and problem solving course through work that goes all day, and work pay for that, so why not utilize that? Last week I did a negotiation skills course, which was quite good. I've done presenting with impact courses, and work pays for all of those, so I take advantage where I can. If there's something that interests me, why not? Also, I might jump onto the WEA website and have a look at what they've got on offer. That's where I did my course on investing and ETFs, so I learned quite a bit from that as well, even if it's just like an online course or something, because I think that it's important to be a lifelong learner. Otherwise we get a bit stale. So all right, so these are not perfect but ready for the oven. All right, so there's my cookies out of the oven now. I think I overcooked them a little bit, but let's have a look what they look like. Let's have a try. They are still soft on the inside, which is great, but I think next time I'll add in a bit more liquid and maybe just, I don't know, they're just that little bit dry. And that could be the protein powder. So maybe I need to add in a little bit of milk or a little bit more coconut oil, but I'll keep experimenting. But these can be stored in an airtight container for, up to 7 days, I would assume. Keep them in the fridge if you want them a little bit chewier. I think I will end this vlog here because I've got quite a bit to get on with my planning and resetting for Sunday, as we all do, getting ready for a new week. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And remember, if you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up, as it does help to push my videos out to more amazing people like yourselves. And also consider subscribing because it is free. Let me know in the comments what sort of content you'd like to see from me. I'd love to hear from you. I want to bring you content that is valuable to you and also that I enjoy making. Let's see if we can help each other out. I'd like to reach 500 subscribers before Christmas, so I've got less than 3 months to do that. Anyway, that's it from me today. Until the next one, I hope you all have a fabulous day. Bye.